Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of Mark Out Wrestling with your hosts, Anthony and Glenn. I, of course, am Glenn.
And I'm Anthony.
So we got a lot to talk about today.
Holy crap, we got a lot to talk about. Big week.
Yeah, big week. We're gonna cover a little bit of Raw, a little bit of SmackDown. I don't think we're gonna do a full recap though, because of how much news there is this week and how much news specifically came out of both shows. So let's just jump right into it, and we'll start on Raw. I think, of course, the biggest news coming out of Raw was the Shield dropping the tag titles.
Absolutely, it was. Yeah.
Do you think they did this just specifically to get us Shield versus New Day?
I do.
That's the only reason I can see them dropping the titles.
There will for sure be a Shield versus New Day match, and especially with Roman Reigns coming back next week.
He was completely cleared. I'm starting to believe though that Sheamus is not leaving to film this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. That's seems to be on a permanent hold right now.
So, with that being said, with Shield versus New Day all but being confirmed, how excited are you for Survivor Series now?
Dude.
I mean, I was already excited for Survivor Series because just the matches, I think, are, great matches, and this just adds to it.
It just adds to it, and Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Usos isn't any less exciting. So.
No, I agree. I'm actually, this might sound weird, I might be a little more excited for that match than I was Shield versus
I would
Usos.
agree, just because I thought WWE would protect the Shield so we knew who was going to win the match.
Right.
But, man, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah. And again, I think just, in my opinion, Cesaro is the best ring worker out of Sheamus, Dean, and Seth. So to put him in a match with two guys who are, in my opinion, still on another level ever since they changed gimmicks, just makes this match so much more fun.
Yeah, I think there's very few guys better than Cesaro.
Yeah,
in the ring.
Some more big news coming out of Raw. It looks like we are going to get Braun versus Miz for the IC title.
I hope it switches hands, man.
Oh, I think it has to.
I think it will. Is that on Monday, or is that going to be after Survivor Series, do you think?
I don't know. I think it might be Monday, right? Because Miz is still supposed to face Baron Corbin for not for any title, but in a match at Survivor Series. Correct?
Yeah, I want to see that because they've been feuding a little bit. But it seems like they're trying to switch titles to get face versus heels and stuff like that.
I think that's what they're doing.
I for sure think Charlotte wins next week.
You do?
I do.
You don't think they're going to do Alexa versus Natty?
I think Charlotte wins, faces Bliss, because that's a dream match. And then Carmella cashes in.
Dude, she has to at this point, right? I mean, we haven't even gotten any teases from her in a really long time.
I know. They're trying to make us forget about it.
Yeah. We've also got Jason Jordan being added to the Survivor Series team. I don't think anybody's surprised about that, honestly.
Well, that came out of nowhere, really.
You think so?
The fact that he didn't have to earn it.
Right.
On.
Well, I mean, he wrestled a match for it.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
No, he got it in a backstage promo.
But he won his match though. That earlier that night.
What match?
Didn't he? Who did he wrestle?
He didn't.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I watched it. Literally, Kurt Angle's like, "You've earned this. I don't want to think there's favoritism, but I want someone I can trust on my team." No,
he did. He beat Elias in the guitar on a pole match.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
My bad.
See? Which that match was trash, by the way.
Yeah.
Although I do still like Elias Sampson. Is Braun on the Survivor Series team?
Yeah.
He is. Okay. I wasn't sure.
We know both teams now. Fully? Yeah. We have Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Jason Jordan, Finn Balor, and Samoa Joe.
Right.
Versus Shane McMahon, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Randy Orton, and John Cena.
Did you see the tweet that Rusev sent out after Cena was announced for the team?
No.
So the tweet that Rusev sent out after John Cena was announced for the team, he said, "Congrats to my friend John Cena, who qualified for the Survivor Series fair and square. Go get him, Tiger."
That's fucking great.
It's funny because that was Shane's whole thing. He was preaching you had to earn a spot on the team, right? And then just out of the blue, he was announced for the team. Now, I think that is because of what happened later on in the night. Because originally it was supposed to be Jinder Mahal versus Brock Lesnar for the in a match. John Cena was actually supposed to be the special guest referee in that match.
Really?
Yeah. Now, with what happened, which we will talk about here in a minute, they had to find a way to get him on the card. Justin inserted him into the match. It makes sense from that standpoint. It doesn't make sense from a storyline standpoint.
Because the original plan was to have AJ Styles on the team. Mm-hmm. And they clearly switched things at last minute, or they would have never announced the Russo versus AJ match. So that's what got people to like predict that like there was a wellness policy or like he was injured.
Right.
Because it was clearly a last minute thing.
Which Jinder has come out and said that he was not hurt. He did not fail a wellness test. Right. So that leads to some other speculations, some questions I'll ask you as soon as we get there. It's weird though. Raw has still not retaliated against SmackDown.
Well, there's supposed to be 2 sieges this coming up week. So SmackDown's supposed to go in again on Monday.
Okay.
And then Raw's supposed to finally retaliate. That's what the spoilers are saying.
Do you think they waited too long?
No, maybe.
Because this is the last 2 shows before the pay-per-view.
It feels like Raw's just kind of cowering. I feel like they're trying to make Raw feel like the underdog.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do.
It really is. Yeah. Because even though I do think that SmackDown puts on better shows than Raw for whatever reason, and maybe it's just the mentality that's been, pounded into my head so long that Raw is the A show, I feel like Raw is the A show.
Yeah, but I'm Team Blue.
Oh, I am too. Although, I kind of want Raw to win this match because I care more about people on the Raw team than do the SmackDown team.
I agree with that, actually.
Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman,
Finn Balor.
Yeah. I care... on the SmackDown side, I care about Bobby Roode.
Shinsuke.
And Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Those are the only 2 I really care about. So
now that we know the 5-on-5, do you have a prediction?
Do you want to do predictions today?
No, we got it next week.
Okay. We'll do predictions next week. We'll save that for another show. Let's move on to SmackDown.
We're still unfolding, really.
Yeah.
There could be more changes coming. So.
Exactly. Let's move on to SmackDown now. And of course, the big news coming out of SmackDown is the phenomenal AJ Styles defeats Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship.
Finally.
So, my question for you is, since we talked about was it a wellness thing, or was he injured, or whatnot? He says he wasn't. He didn't fail a wellness test. Why did they take the title off of him now?
Because this is a Big 4 pay-per-view, and it wasn't getting the hype they wanted. Mm-hmm. Nobody was caring about a Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal. That's why I think they did it. The ratings were really low. Nobody was caring.
I agree with you 100%, and kudos to Vince McMahon, who... The guy generally is, if he has a plan, he's sticking to it. He doesn't like to veer off track very much. He saw that this just wasn't working with Jinder. Switched it up, put the title on AJ Styles. This pay-per-view just became much, much more entertaining. Let me ask you a question, though. Do you think Jinder Mahal wins the title back at some point? In India?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that... Because I feel like this would change the plans for WrestleMania too much for Vince McMahon's liking. I think this is, unfortunately, very short term for AJ Styles. I think Jinder probably wins the title back during the India tour, and then which
is scheduled for December.
Right.
So, but I agree with you 100%. I think, unfortunately, I don't think he's not just gonna go back. He's not gonna go away.
Right.
He's not just going to be a jobber again. I don't think it's long.
But now WWE has about a month to actually build Jinder Mahal up. I think that's enough time to do something with him to convince me that if he is to beat AJ Styles for the title again, that he is worth holding that title.
You think he's off Survivor Series now?
See, that's the thing, right? He's no match scheduled for him. It's kind of a weird thing.
There's still time.
There is. I don't know if he's actually on the card. I would not be surprised if he showed up, though.
Do you agree with Jinder that this wasn't an experiment?
I mean, I don't know how else you would describe it.
I mean, I feel like if it wasn't an experiment, you wouldn't be on the middle of, the hour.
Right.
on the 8 to 9 hour on SmackDown every week.
Well, see, that's the thing. He's
like
not.
He would have been main eventing SmackDown every week.
As champion, he wasn't closing SmackDown or pay-per-views.
Yeah. Which at the same time, WWE, like, that's your champion. You should have had him there.
Yeah.
If you really want to see what he can do.
Just to be fair to him, though, I think whenever you put a title on a person for the first time, I think it's an experiment. You have to see how that person's going to get reactions. Whether it's, if they would have put the title on Shinsuke Nakamura, it would have been an experiment still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
instant success, though.
Yeah, well, obviously. But, yeah, I definitely think that his title run was an experiment for now, but I don't think it's over for him.
Has anybody ever came from the indies and just, like, completely adapted so well to the WWE like AJ Styles has?
CM Punk?
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't take him long.
I would say Daniel Bryan, but
there's very few, man.
Yeah, I feel like for Daniel Bryan, they were still a learning curve.
I feel like
if we're talking but see, a lot of guys, would go through development before making their way up, so they had the time to adjust. AJ Styles came straight to the main roster and has been killing it. Now, is that in part to how much time he spent in TNA, where he was used to being in front of decent-sized crowds while on TV?
I don't know. Apparently, the first thing he did when he got in WWE was the Royal Rumble he appeared at. Apparently, he was talking Cena's head off.
Really?
Rumble, yeah.
Just asking him questions?
Yeah, like, what's different here? What do I need to know?
Yeah.
And apparently, Cena, really liked that.
Yeah.
From, the get-go.
Yeah, you see a guy who's been in the industry for 20 years and still comes in very humble.
Yeah, just wanting to learn and know, what to do.
All right, so.
Because he never went to, the Performance Center either and learned, hard cameras over here.
Right.
He never did any of that stuff.
He just came straight up, which, good on him. We have any other noteworthy stuff come out of SmackDown? I guess
Becky Lynch beat up James Ellsworth.
I was going to say that.
And Carmella super kicked him in the face.
Do you think, from what I understand, Ellsworth's contract is coming up? I don't see WWE re-signing him.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He hasn't. It was fun, when he first started. That was entertaining, but
they did a great thing, and he was just a jobber, but fans were so behind him that they had to sign him.
Right.
So we'll just turn him heel or hate him.
And then we can get rid of him. It's fine.
They did that perfect.
All right. Some other big news coming out this week in regards to SmackDown. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn getting sent home from the UK tour.
What?
Yeah. So we've got
this is mind blowing to me.
We've got conflicting reports. We've got some people saying this is a work. Some people saying this is not a work.
Well, the scary part is so it's the lead wrestling writer for Sports Illustrated, who's always got inside information. He's saying this is real. There's really credible sources saying this isn't a work.
Right.
Which blew me away because as soon as I heard it, I was like, no way.
Automatically a work, right?
No way.
That would fit what is going on between those two.
Yeah, and it's going to fit them jumping in a Survivor Series.
So rumor is they went into business for themselves.
Right, and if you listen to how they did it, which was apparently just not getting beat up by the New Day after their match.
Yeah.
Are they really that mad about that?
Apparently, because
maybe they forgot. Maybe they just roll out the ring
Vince signed off on sending them home. So, apparently they rubbed somebody the wrong way. Now, I don't think there's going to be any big repercussions for this.
You don't think so?
I don't. Dude, that's two of their hottest guys right now. You can't take them off shows.
Sure you can.
They already weren't really scheduled for Survivor Series, right? So maybe their punishment is if they had plans for them at Survivor Series, just now you have no plans at Survivor Series. I could see that being a punishment because then they don't get that payday for the paper.
I still think they interfere.
You do? So you don't think there's any repercussions for them whatsoever either?
Well, the repercussions is
backstage-wise.
I don't know. There's apparently a lot of backstage heat from other wrestlers too, is what they're saying.
Well, I heard, and I don't know how true this rumor was, I heard they also got kicked off of a tour bus.
Yeah, apparently
for Kevin Owens being loud and obnoxious.
That and
pulling in
saying,
Enzo.
They've been both really hard to work with lately.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do you think they feel like they're untouchable? Do you think maybe that's why? Because they look and they know that both of them know that if anything happens in WWE, they can go to the Indies they'll be welcome back to ROH New Japan with open arms, and they can possibly make the same amount of money they're making in WWE right now.
Oh, I think they could. Those two would be
right. So that's
heroes on that.
That's my question. Do you think they are doing this? I'm not necessarily saying that's the main reason why, but is that in the back of their head that, well, let's see how far we can push this envelope, knowing that we've got something we can fall back on?
I don't know, man. I really don't. I wish this was a work. I wish this was an elaborate work by WWE where they fool everybody, which sounds really unlikely. Because there's always one insider that's like, no, calm down.
Right.
This is fine. But
enough of that. Let's get more onto Cena on Team SmackDown again. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. Real quick, I do want to touch on that again. Mainly from Rusev's standpoint, because that tweet got me thinking, how little does WWE value Rusev?
Yeah, obviously, very little. Obviously, the role that he fit is now filled by Jinder Mahal. So he's second fiddle to Jinder Mahal, I think, for the foreseeable future.
Right. Which sucks for him because the guy has so much talent.
He's kind of a freak athlete, man.
He really is. I wish I knew what...
He's like a smaller Brock Lesnar. Just to be like that big and move that quick is really crazy.
Yeah.
Before John Cena was announced and Rusev lost the match, I immediately thought Daniel Bryan was going to be the fifth member.
Right.
I really did. Especially because he went on this radio show and was saying, I'm trying really hard to get cleared right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot of tests. I've passed every test with flying colors.
Right.
And yeah.
Now.
But he's saying it's just from he's saying WWE is saying they want me back. But
they have a lot of people to answer to, like stockholders or something like that. So we've talked about this before a couple times on the show. Does this change your opinion at all now on if he should wrestle?
I want to see him wrestle. I just don't think he should. But if it happens, I'm 100% down.
Right.
And it would have been more exciting to me than someone like John Cena. But I get why they did John Cena. Suddenly more people are going to tune in. Suddenly Survivor Series feels bigger. Absolutely. Right?
Yeah.
Especially now with AJ and Brock. Oh.
That has... What closes the show?
AJ and Brock. 100%.
You think so? You don't 100%. Think it's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown?
Not at all.
I don't think Brock comes on the show.
It wasn't last year either. Was it?
I don't remember last year's pay-per-view.
Actually, it might have been, yeah.
Who won that?
Team Blue. AJ Styles and someone else was left.
SmackDown won all the matches except for one, didn't they?
They lost the Raw Women's.
Yeah.
The Raw Women's one.
Yeah.
Which I think Raw Women's has to win this year because Asuka's on it, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, so I'm glad you brought that up because rumor is WWE did not initially want Asuka to be on that team because penciled in right now is SmackDown Women's winning that match. So one of the rumors that's been proposed is that Asuka gets disqualified for just being too vicious. That way she gets out of the match, doesn't actually get pinned, and they can keep Team SmackDown winning that match.
Man.
What bothers me about that, though, is do you remember who all is on each team for Team Raw and Team SmackDown Women?
Yeah. Well, the Raw team isn't fully announced yet.
Right. There's still one person, right?
All right. So we have Alicia Fox, Asuka, Nia Jax. That's all I know. Sasha Banks and Bayley are not on the match yet.
Sasha is.
Yeah,
she was announced on Raw.
Oh, yeah, because she said, that's right. After Sasha pinned her.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
There is one.
And it's not Bayley.
There's a match at that's supposed to be on Raw to determine the last spot, and Bayley is in it. I think it's Bayley versus Dana Brooks versus Mickie James is the Raw women's match next week to determine the last spot for the Raw team. SmackDown, we've got Becky Lynch, Carmella, Naomi.
Yep. Charlotte.
So there's one spot left there too?
No. Tamina.
Okay, Tamina. Well, the reason I brought that up is because there are reports coming out that Paige is due back anytime.
And they're saying she's back for SmackDown, even though she was a Raw member. She got drafted
to SmackDown.
No, she got drafted to Raw.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought she got drafted to SmackDown, but you might be right. If that is the case, I assume they don't do anything with her until after Survivor Series then, right?
I'd like to see her come back for Survivor Series.
How do they do that?
They bring her back on Team Red, and they put her in the match.
Yeah. I could see if she comes back. Does she have to come back as a face or a heel?
Indifferent.
Really?
I don't think it matters.
Do you think a lot of people want to see her back?
Well, let's see. So the heels would be Alexa, Nia, and
Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia Fox. And then, you'd probably bring her back as a heel.
Do you think a lot of fans want to see her come back?
I don't know, man. It's been so long. I think a lot of fans forgot about her.
It's been over a year, right?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Man, that poor girl. I feel bad for her because
they said like her last match was like June of last year or something.
I don't know if you saw the reports that she had more videos and pictures leaked, like within the last week.
Really?
That poor girl, dude. I just feel like she can't catch a break.
How do people hack onto your phone?
I have no idea.
Get your nudes and post them to your internet? What the fuck? Who does that?
It's getting onto iCloud. That is where they can get all that stuff from. And then I assume just being married to Alberto Del Rio
sounds terrible.
Terrible in itself. But he was actually the one that said Paige is due back soon.
Yeah, and she's been like tweeting pictures of like the performance center and stuff.
She's been there training. Good for her. I personally want to see her back.
Me too.
I thought Paige was a very entertaining wrestler. So I hope she comes back, and I hope she comes back strong. Now, I kind of want to move away. Kind of want to move away from WWE. I want to talk more about the Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho match, because we're getting new reports coming out.
Really? What reports?
So, apparently, Chris Jericho did get approval from the WWE.
Did he?
Yes.
Even though he doesn't have a contract with him?
Right. Apparently, he did talk to Vince, and Vince cleared him to have this match. So that brings to question, will Kenny Omega wrestle for WWE next year?
I believe so.
At WrestleMania?
Yep.
Do you think it is a one-off match?
Nope.
No.
I think it's a one-off match in New Japan.
I agree. There were reports that this could lead to something at Royal Rumble, and then ultimately lead to the final match at WrestleMania.
They were talking about Kenny Omega last year.
Yeah.
When his contract came up.
He only signed a one-year deal with New Japan last year. I don't know if this actually leads to anything with him in WWE. I think Vince would be an idiot if he did not see the dollar signs that this match would generate at a WrestleMania.
So let me ask you a question.
Okay.
So a lot of people in the industry, a lot of people growing up says Shawn Michaels is the best in-ring performer ever. You get a few that say Ric Flair. Most people say Shawn Michaels. Nowadays, people say AJ Styles or they say Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the, in your opinion, that you've seen, who do you think is the best in-ring performer
of all time?
Yep.
I think I think it's AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ Styles for me too.
Now you don't watch a whole lot of New Japan, right?
No, I basically none.
Okay. Kenny Omega's really good. And fucking Okada.
I've like YouTubed some of his matches and stuff. So yeah.
Omega's.
Yeah. And Okada actually.
Well, I will be getting Wrestle Kingdom if you want to come over,
dude. Kota Ibushi versus Cody's on there too.
Yeah, dude, that card is stacked.
Yeah, it is.
So I do think the answer for me is AJ Styles. And I think one of the reasons is because you saw what he did in TNA and then what he did in New Japan and what he did in WWE. The guy's been in WWE for
2 years.
A little over
a year and a half.
A year and a half, and he's a 2-time WWE champion.
And one of his reigns was like 6 months.
Yeah. Right, because he debuted at Royal Rumble 2015.
Right.
Won the title and then lost the title at Royal Rumble 2016.
Right.
Or 20.
Yeah, it took him till
2017. He lost it this year.
He won the title after SummerSlam.
So he debuted in 2016, lost the title in 2017.
Right.
I mean, this is a guy who coming in, people wasn't even sure if he was actually going to make it. Just because Vince doesn't like to give guys that he didn't create.
Yeah, he likes to create stars. He doesn't like to.
Right. So I think the answer is.
But I think we've seen now with other guys too, like that's not going to be the case moving forward.
Right. And I think that's smart. I think.
Especially like because most of them they bring up through NXT, so suddenly they feel like it's their guy.
Right.
Because they had to earn their way.
And I think that's all on Triple H right there.
Yeah, I love Triple H. I can't wait for him to be running the show.
I can't either. But get back to Jericho versus Kenny Omega. There's also a report coming out that WWE wants Chris Jericho back quickly. So,
well, they probably want him back for, the Big Four, because we're coming into WrestleMania season soon.
Well, they want him back for Raw 25.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that would be just like a week or two after Wrestle Kingdom. So that's coming off the heels of his big match with Kenny Omega. So you want to bring him back when he still has that. I don't even know the word. I was going to say superstardom, but I mean, it's Chris Jericho.
Yeah, the guy's
you know what I mean?
Guy's as big as it gets.
So I hope.
I think he'll come back, yeah.
I think he will too. I don't see him wrestling in New Japan full time.
The guy's way too busy. Like, I feel like he's like, we go to play. Like, sure, why not?
Right. At least this way he stays in the States where his family is and stuff like that. I mean, he's over 40. He doesn't need to be traveling to Japan all the time.
I wonder how Fozzie's doing.
I mean, I assume good.
Yeah.
He's still doing.
I want to go see a Fozzie show, man.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever come close.
I have an app that tells me any bands coming through KC or comedians or shows. So
nice.
I keep an eye out. I haven't seen it.
A little off topic. I'm going to Foo Fighters on Monday.
Hell yeah, dude.
In Wichita.
Hell yeah.
I cannot wait.
I love that.
That's a bucket list. I've always wanted to see Foo Fighters live.
The lead singer of Foo Fighters, when he broke his leg last year.
Finished
the tour. They just had this throne chair.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't not even finish the tour. He finished that concert. They put the cast on him on stage. He finished that concert.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't know he finished the concert.
It was nuts.
The fact that he just toured and was just like,
Dave Grohl is a god.
Yeah.
What else do you have for me? Any big news that you want to talk about?
Well, I didn't write my list down, sir.
It's okay. You said you wanted to go off of mine.
Now you put me on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot a couple times today because I've got some questions that I want to ask you that are not related to Raw or SmackDown or New Japan.
What'd you think about the intergender match?
I was glad. I'm going to say I was glad. I didn't honestly think we'd ever see a match in WWE again where it was man versus woman.
Yeah, me neither.
Because with all the domestic violence stuff
he threw zero punches.
Well, yeah.
He pushed her twice. That was about it. That was his whole offense.
I guess they've been wrestling each other on house shows. And
really?
And one night, Becky finished him off with a rock bottom in people's elbow. And the next night, she hit him with a stunner. So
I love Becky.
I think once you, no offense, but once you're a male wrestler and you start losing to a female wrestler consistently, your days are pretty much numbered in the WWE.
I have a question for you. I just read it on Bleach Report.
Ooh.
I'm going to ask you, though.
Okay.
Which superstar should get the next Mahal push?
I think just out of, so now.
Probably Asuka, right?
Well, no, because, I mean, that's expected.
When
you ask me this, I feel like you're asking me, who.
From out of nowhere.
Yeah, an out of nowhere wrestler. Now, see, man, there's so many variables on how I'm thinking about this. I
would have said Emma until a couple weeks ago.
Are we talking about a floundering mid-carder? Or
okay, so this applies to anyone.
Okay,
anyone who hasn't held a title yet and suddenly just
a main
gets,
title or
just
any
gets,
title in general.
Let's go with any title in general.
Okay,
but they suddenly just get in a title contention, win the title, and keep it for a while.
Elias Sampson.
Weird. That was not what I was expecting.
Yeah. Now, because I would have said Cesaro or Rusev, but they both held a title in WWE at some point.
I did cut that off, didn't I?
Yeah.
Cesaro should, though.
Oh, definitely.
He's up there as far as deserving.
Yeah, he's...
Who deserves it more than Cesaro?
Nobody, man.
Nobody.
That guy has been with the company for...
Sami Zayn, you gotta fall in line, bro. Cesaro's...
It feels like Cesaro's probably been with the company for 8 years now.
Dude. Since at least 2010.
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. I think that's when he came in.
Yeah, and he held the U.S. title?
He's held the U.S., the tag titles, and that's it, right?
Yeah, never held the IC title, correct?
Never held.
Yeah. He's the one guy on the main roster right now that I think deserves to be WWE champion or Universal champion.
That being said, I love the Bar. I hope they stay together for a while.
I was really surprised. We talked about this, man. When they first announced the best of 7 series match, I was like, this is going to be fucking terrible.
This is going to be long and drawn out.
And then by the time the 7th match came, dude, I was invested. I could not wait for that last match.
When Cesaro's down 0-3, it's I know what's going to happen. I don't care.
Right.
Now it's 4 in a row comeback.
And then there was the cop out where they gave him the tag team title match, which at the time I thought was a cop out. I was like, because I was thinking one of them was going to get a push towards a singles title. And then, dude, this tag team is just so much fun to watch.
It's so good, man.
It's weird.
The way they work together is amazing.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, to think like how well these two work together.
It's like they've been tagging their whole life,
right? And it's funny because like my favorite tag team for a long time, is gonna sound weird, was Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
Really?
I thought they were so entertaining to watch. And when Tyson Kidd got hurt, I was like, damn, man, this sucks. Like, we're not gonna get to see them together again. And then Sheamus and Cesaro blew up, and they might be my second favorite tag team in the WWE right now.
Second favorite?
Yeah.
First is
Usos. I really like those two, man.
I love those.
The way they reinvented themselves is...
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All they did was
shows the
put on a bad attitude, and suddenly they're hot as thing.
Stop dancing or
it's
doing
weird. It's great that they are showing like other people that like you can be a heel and still put on entertaining matches.
Right.
You don't have to be the Jinder Mahal, like just slow everything down to a crawl and just put everybody in a hold and just wait. Like, you don't have to do that. You can put on entertaining matches as a heel.
Right. And just like with the Usos, just like the way they reinvented everything, they turned heel and completely changed their in-ring style too.
Yeah.
They're not high flyers anymore
like
they were when they were the Flying Usos. Now they're ground and pound guys, which I love.
I love them, man.
Speaking of tag teams right now,
when's the revival coming back?
Yeah, that's the revival. How is? I haven't heard anything on it.
I haven't heard any news on it either. I wonder if they're wrestling house shows or anything yet.
I don't even know if he's cleared to come back.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we should have heard by now.
God, man, I feel bad for that tag team because they were the one team that I was waiting to get called up, and I wanted to see what they did, and just the injury bug has bit the shit out of them.
So let's talk about like interferences at Survivor Series.
Okay.
So we both think KO and Sami Zayn interfere. Now that's kind of like on the rocks, but that was alright. For me,
I'm up in the air on it. I could see them being left off the card completely as being a punishment for whatever happened on the UK tour. If you would have asked me 2 days ago, I would have said yes, they definitely interfere.
I think if Team Blue wins, Kane interferes.
Why?
Takes out Braun Strowman.
Oh, yeah. I could see that, I guess.
But I think Team Red wins. So.
Okay.
The men's match.
All right. Do you think there's any other interferences?
I've been thinking about it, but I'm trying to figure it out. But the revival would be a great one.
Like I said, I could see something happening with Jinder Mahal, just because it would just be so weird to leave him off that show, because that doesn't help his credibility.
What would it be though?
I don't know.
I feel like he's got to be off now. But they're saying he's getting a rematch on Tuesday for the title.
Well,
so
he's not winning it back.
It's not set in stone that it's AJ versus Brock.
But it is.
But it
because
fucking should be.
One of the big reports is that Brock went to Vince and said he has no desire to work with Jinder Mahal.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So,
that's crazy.
Talk about just burying a guy.
I love how, like, Jinder is, like, Vince's guy. And Vince is like, no, this is my guy. Screw everybody. I don't care what anyone says.
And
Brock says, I don't want to work with him. Vince's like, cool, dude.
Whatever you want, man.
I feel the same.
Yeah. Never liked the guy anyways.
That's fucking great.
All right. So, I've got a couple off-the-wall questions. Not even off-the-wall, really. But on-the-spot questions that I want to ask you.
I was not prepped beforehand.
You were not. I did not say anything to you. I've got 5 questions.
Are you going to answer them, too?
I can if you'd like me to.
Yeah.
Since you don't have any questions for me.
Well, you didn't tell me this is what we were doing.
I know, man. I just wanted to put you on the spot. All right. First question. Which pay-per-view would you like to see WWE bring back?
Oh, man. Taboo Tuesday.
That is mine.
Really?
Yeah. So I know the concept, like a lot of people actually didn't like it, but because they did Taboo Tuesday and then they changed it to Cyber Sunday. I liked having that weird pay-per-view in the middle of the week. Or not even in the middle, but just like during the week.
I never knew if like the results were real though.
Apparently they were. Like there was
like I don't think they ever affected a title change though.
I don't think they ever did that
like,
either.
Whoever wins the vote gets the title.
Right, but I think that there was a I think there was moments where they were like, all right, this is what the fans are going to vote for. And then the fans were like, fuck you, we're going to vote for this. And then they had to change stuff on the fly.
I love how like you voted on weird stuff too. Like, what are the divas going to wear?
Right, exactly. But it's funny you say that because that is the one pay-per-view I would be interested in them bringing back. Next question. Favorite pay-per-view of all time?
The Elimination Chamber.
Really?
I love the Elimination Chamber. It's like probably my favorite match every year.
Why?
I just love the concept.
Interesting.
Also, like, I had an Elimination Chamber WWE ring going up that I played with every day, and I loved the Elimination match.
All right.
Every match was an Elimination match. Didn't matter if it's for the title, it's in the Elimination Chamber, bro.
Mine is Money in the Bank.
I love Money in the Bank. I think it gets a little crazy, though.
I do, too.
Jeff Hardy jumping on the edge from like 20 feet up, and Edge is like, you could have killed him, bro. How did he not die?
Which one was it?
The one where Edge is like parallel with the ladder.
Uh-huh.
So he's laid across it.
Oh, okay.
And Jeff Hardy's up here, and it's on the barricade. It's between the ring and the barricade. So there's like a good 5 feet.
That's right. I remember.
And Jeff Hardy falls into like his sternum, and you're just like, well, you probably just broke his back, asshole. Just for a great spot.
Dick.
What a dick.
But
you know, Matt Hardy was like, fuck yes.
I wish, it's weird because like Money in the Bank is my favorite pay-per-view because the concept is my favorite. I wish they would move it back to WrestleMania though. Get rid of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Move Money in the Bank back to WrestleMania.
That'd be fun.
I don't
They
like
crazy
it.
stuff with that though.
And the reason like I don't like how they did it this year.
Why don't you like it as a standalone pay-per-view? Because you've said that before.
I don't like how they did it this year. I don't like how it was a brand exclusive pay-per-view. I would have rather they have done it where there was like three guys from Raw, 3 guys from SmackDown.
So right now though, they're alternating. Raw gets these pay-per-views each year, and they'll get the SmackDown pay-per-views next year.
Right.
So I mean, it's not like it's brand exclusive. It changes from year to year, and I like that they put so much like. I like that they really showcase it and make it like its own thing, just because it should be a big deal having that Money in the Bank.
That's why I think WrestleMania is a better fit for it.
You think it makes it a bigger deal?
Yeah,
WrestleMania
on a bigger stage
than standing alone, having its own spotlight.
Yeah, because it's not one of the big 4 pay-per-views, so technically, in WWE's mind, it is a B show.
It doesn't feel like a B show.
It doesn't, but to WWE, everything feels like a B show now with no fucking pyros. That's another story. Like we need to bring that shit back.
Trying to save costs, man.
Yeah.
You need to cut somebody.
If they did it where like. It was like if you got rid of Survivor Series as one of the big 4 and made Money in the Bank one of the big 4s, I'd be perfectly fine with it staying as its own separate pay-per-view, as a standalone pay-per-view. Like I remember back when the
Why not elevate a B show though? Because that's what it does. It elevates the B show. It makes it feel like more important than just a B show.
I mean, I agree, but I think it. And it's in my head that it's a brand exclusive pay-per-view. It's not brand exclusive to maybe SmackDown where it alternates. I don't know why, but I just don't like it that way.
Okay.
I can't really put my finger on it. I don't know if it's because it is a brand exclusive pay-per-view, that makes it a B show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, personally, my opinion. All right.
To me, like the only show this year that's felt like a B show was TLC, and that's just because there was one good match, or one stipulation match, and like no titles.
That was weird.
Yeah, that was a really bad card.
Was it?
That felt like a extended Raw.
Yeah, I agree. All right, your favorite belt of all time?
It was the World Heavyweight Championship.
The gold.
Yeah. Back when they first split, and it was the one that Triple H always had.
Yeah.
I love that one.
This is a WCW belt. NWA belt.
Was it?
Yeah, that was WCW's heavyweight title.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
That's one of my favorite belts of all time, too.
I love that one.
It's that one, and I really love the current IC title.
When they first put like the spinner on the WWE belt, I was like, it made me love the heavyweight belt more.
Yeah. Because John Cena made his titles feel like props at times, right? because he had the spinner US belt, and he had the spinner WWE belt, and it was just like,
come on,
no
bro.
champion is really gonna hold this belt. You know what I mean?
It's weird when like Edge won it and just kept it that way.
Yeah,
I thought for sure it'd be changed.
Yeah, and then CM Punk won it. Well, he did change it a little bit. He put the R in the back of the spinny thing and the stars.
Oh my god!
All right,
so your favorite was the IC?
It's the big gold and the current IC title. Yeah,
okay.
Those are my two favorite belts. Least favorite belt.
Ooh, European.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that surprises me. I love the European belt. When Rusev won the US title, I really wanted him to get rid of it and bring back the European title.
Really?
Yeah.
Just get rid of the US title?
Yeah.
Retire it?
I think that would have fit his character so much better.
To me, like, it was like growing up, it was always the title I didn't care about.
Really?
There was the hardcore, which I loved. There was the to me it was just like the least.
I hated the light heavyweight title.
There was a light heavyweight title?
Yeah, Jeff Hardy held it for a while.
I don't remember that.
S.A. Rios held it. It was like WWE's like poor attempt at their first rendition of a cruiserweight. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that it was like a terrible looking belt. I mean, it's a good looking belt, honestly, but like just the reasoning behind the belt's existence made me hate it.
Okay.
Favorite faction of all time?
Oh, man. Okay, so I feel like I know what I'm supposed to say, but
You say whatever you want. No judgment here.
I feel like as a grown-up loving the Hardys, I should say the Brood or something, but
I mean, I did love the Brood.
I'd probably say the Wolfpack.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Also, yeah.
Has to be.
The NWO Wolfpack.
The NWO Wolfpack got me watching wrestling every single week.
Really?
Yeah. That's probably what did it.
That's funny because my next question is what got you into watching wrestling?
Yeah. It was probably the Wolfpack. It was probably Sting.
Sting's my all-time favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
And so...
That and watching Goldberg's undefeated streak as a kid.
Yeah. My dad was a huge Goldberg fan, man. And it was weird, like... When did Goldberg come back?
What, for last year?
Yeah. Isn't October or November?
He came back for SummerSlam and beat Brock in like 2 seconds.
Was it SummerSlam?
No, it wasn't SummerSlam. It was Survivor Series.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year's Survivor Series was his first match back.
I remember because, like, it was like such a surreal thing because, like, growing up, like, that was like me and my dad saying was watching wrestling. And my dad was a huge Goldberg fan. And, like, my dad passed away, like, 2 weeks before Goldberg came back. And so just to, like, see him, like, because of, like, the situation surrounding, you know, what happened to me, and then seeing Goldberg, like, it made me appreciate his last run so, like, on a different level than most people enjoyed it, because his first run in WWE was not very memorable.
Well, let me ask you a question about Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if I just made this up in my head because I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
But I remember, so I went back and tried to watch it, and what I found was Bret the Hitman Hart.
Right.
Because I remember specifically Goldberg spearing someone, and they had a chair.
It was Bret Hart. He had like a metal plate.
Right. So that's what I found.
Right.
But that's not what I remember.
What do you remember?
I remember Diamond Dallas Page doing that and winning the match and being the first one to beat him. Did I make that up in my head?
Yeah, because the first person to beat Goldberg was Kevin Nash. Scott Hall tasered.
Oh, and that's
Goldberg.
when Kevin Nash was running the show too.
Yeah.
But no, I swear, like, if Diamond Dallas Page, I don't care if he's the first person to beat him.
I don't know, but now that you said it,
I swear he stole that from Bret Hart. I swear he used that in a match because Bret did it outside a match. Just, I'm challenging Goldberg.
Yeah, I vaguely remember something about DDP doing something like that.
I need to find that, dude. Because I went back to try and find it. Because that was, for me, that was my first oh my god moment in WWE. Was Goldberg just spears someone, all of a sudden he's knocked out, can't get up. And you're like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
And then DDP lifts up his shirt and he's like, what's up, bitch?
In WCW? Man.
But I feel like all I found was Bret Hart.
Bret Hart was the one I remember.
I searched WWE Network. I didn't search like Google. I'm sure if I Google, maybe I'll find something. So, you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find something. Because now, like, for some reason, I vaguely remember something about that happening too. I'm not finding anything though. Just on my quick search. I don't know. I really don't know now.
All right. I figured you had more Maybe. How old are you?
27.
Okay, never mind. I was going to say you were probably older then. You probably have a better...
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Yeah, see? Yeah. When's your birthday?
June 20th.
All right, mine's May. I'm a month older than you.
You're a dick. Yeah, see, you're older than me. You probably got a better...
Yeah. I don't know why. Like, as soon as you mention it now, I feel like I remember DDP doing something like that, too.
Because the one I remember was in a match. It wasn't like...
But it was against Goldberg.
Yeah, Goldberg spears somebody. He's still undefeated at this time. So, like, you're not used to seeing him just laid out.
Right.
And he spears, and it's in a match. And what I found was Bret Hart outside of a match. It was just a promo. And I was like, okay, so this is probably the first time it happened because everybody was like, really didn't know what was going on.
Because I remember that.
But I feel like somebody stole that. And I remember DDP from, like, my youth. I'm like, for sure it was, like, I was sold it was DDP. And then when Bret Hart video came up, I was like, what the are you talking about, Bret Hart?
Yeah. He's the only one I can actually remember doing that.
Okay.
And
I'm going to look it up.
I remember because Goldberg spears him and, like, knocks himself out because...
Yeah. And it's weird because they're both just laying there. And they're like, did you guys just take a nap?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Apparently, did you know that Goldberg is basically the one that ended Bret Hart's career?
Really?
Yeah. It was on, like, a... they were wrestling a match, and I guess Goldberg, like... It was like a rogue kick from Goldberg that wasn't supposed to happen and hurt Bret Hart. And yeah.
It's crazy, man. Sucks to hear stuff like that.
So
I wish we got another 10 years with Stone Cold.
Yeah. That was Owen Hart, right? That basically ended his career.
Yeah, with the pile driver.
Botched pile driver. I don't even know if it was necessarily botched, but pile drivers were a lot different back then.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even allowed now unless you're the Undertaker.
Right.
So
the closest thing is a tombstone, right?
There's a tombstone pile driver.
Yeah, but they
like,
hold them so far up that
right.
like clearly their head doesn't hit at all.
Yeah, and the Owen Hart one was a sit down pile driver.
Yeah.
So you were a WCW guy or a WWE guy, WWF guy growing up?
I started out watching WCW.
Okay.
And I was scared of WWF. And then as soon as I saw the Hardys, I was sold on WWE.
You were scared? Was it because of, like, the Ministry of Darkness and stuff like that?
No,
like...
it's because like the first WWE programming that I ever saw was Kane giving someone a bloodbath. That's a true story. And I was immediately like, not for me. I don't like horror movies.
How old were you when you started watching wrestling?
Oh, man. See, it was like always on at my house. I don't know when I started watching it. Because like my mom's boyfriend at the time like always had it on. So like, he was a big fan.
Yeah.
And I don't ever remember, like, I don't know how I knew it was on every week, like, how I knew what time. But every Monday, Thursday or Friday, whatever it was back then, I'm pretty sure it was Thursday and then it became Friday, but
yeah.
I was always in front of the TV, like, okay. I was always mad when Raw went in, like, really? You're going to wait a week?
I was a WCW guy. I remember Sting being the reason I came in. Like, my dad... It was weird because, like, I remember, like, my dad just, like, turning it on randomly one time. And I was like, oh, what is this? And he was like, watch this.
This is great.
Yeah. But, like, my dad was, like, a huge... It was funny, in my household, my dad loved the WCW Nitro Girls.
Oh,
you remember them?
I do.
And specifically Kimberly Page, who was DDP's wife at the time. And my mom was, like, a huge Kevin Nash fan. Like, she thought it big sexy. Like, she bought into that. And we were at a Kemper Arena for, I don't remember if it was a Nitro or a pay-per-view or what it was, but we were like way up high. And so we brought binoculars. And like my parents were fighting over the binoculars because my dad wanted to stare at the Nitro Girls. My mom wanted to stare at Kevin Nash.
That's so funny.
That's one of the memories I have of that. Now, you've never been to a show.
Never.
We got to change that, man.
We do got to change that.
That's crazy. Did you fall out of wrestling for a while? I feel like I remember you telling me that. Yeah. Do you remember roughly when that was?
I miss... To clear it up, I missed the Yes movement. That's what I missed.
All right.
Which was apparently huge.
Yeah, it was big.
Yeah.
So what?
I've like gone back on the network. I've watched a little bit of it. Like I've definitely watched.
So you just stopped watching for a year and a half?
No, it was a couple of years.
Was it?
It was like, as far as like watching every week. Yeah, it was a couple of years.
Yeah. It's one of those things, man. Like I just never stopped watching wrestling.
Like I remember finding out The Rock came back and like, oh, I should watch wrestling again.
Yeah.
It never happened, but stuff like that.
I remember like there was like a time where like I didn't like necessarily care about wrestling, but like for some reason like every Monday I was still watching it.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like it was still on. Like, but I remember like there was a time where I was just like,
who cares?
I had a falling out with it in the sense that like I wasn't as big of a fan as I am again now or was when I was younger.
I think it was my late teens, early 20s that I was just like too busy for that shit.
I remember I was a little kid, like once I got into like later elementary school, because I started watching wrestling when I was really young. And then so like later elementary school into middle school, like my parents didn't let me watch wrestling anymore for like a solid year because like I was a shithead little kid. Like I had such a bad temper, and my parents associated that with wrestling, so they didn't let me watch wrestling anymore for like a solid year. And I think at like one point I was just like, man, fuck this, I'm gonna start watching it again. And
they didn't say nothing.
They didn't say anything. No.
It's funny because this is way off topic. I'll say never mind. I'll tell you after the podcast.
All right. But quick, get on topic. Quick news that we didn't touch that I wanted to touch. Impact Wrestling is now a Canadian-based company.
Really?
Yeah.
Who bought them?
I don't know. I don't know if they were bought out or if they're just moving production up there.
They're already bankrupt.
But I thought that was interesting. Yeah.
Here's some more news that we forgot to touch on. Hideo Itami is coming to the main roster as a cruiserweight.
Funny you say that. Read a report today. When his contract is up, he wants to go back to Japan.
Oh, I could see why.
I don't blame him.
He's been a very underwhelming career. It's all because of injuries, obviously.
Yeah,
but.
That was something big that happened on Raw. Pete Dunne made his main roster debut.
It's funny that like we talk about the same day it's announced he's going to the cruiserweights. He's like, I want out, dude.
Yeah, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, Pete Dunne made his main roster debut.
So what worries me is the next night the UK division was on 205 Live. I hope that does not mean that they're going to be on.
Is that just because they were in the UK?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like I really hope Pete Dunne is not going to be wrestling in the cruiserweight division because that dude has so much talent. Like I remember there was a while there was like talk of like a new Evolution coming, and Pete Dunne was like really lobbying hard to be on the new Evolution, and it never ended up panning out. But you know,
with completely new stars, or were like Triple H and stuff bringing
Triple H leading it, and then
I would like to see
the NXT guys
like a new Evolution with Triple H not in it, or none of the old members in it. Just like the guys that they see as like the future.
I would have loved
young guys too, not like Finn Balor and Shinsuke and.
There was talk of them doing like a faction of NXT guys. Triple H was going to bring up and feud with WWE guys that Vince would hand select. This was a year ago.
Who would even make that? Like if we made our own new Evolution of like young guys that are clearly going to lead Raw and SmackDown going forward, who would that even include? Because I feel like WWE's aged its roster so much.
Yeah. I think, well, if you remember Evolution, it was Ric Flair was the old ass motherfucker. And then you had
Triple H was the now.
Yeah.
And Batista and Randy as the next.
But even Batista was a lot older than him and Triple H are like the same age.
Yeah. So it took Batista a while.
Yeah. So like I thought about that, and just to like kind of go with the same concept, like I would have had like I don't mind the idea of Triple H leading it. I don't want him to ever wrestle. If he was just like the manager for the group, I'd be totally cool with that. I would have liked to have seen Samoa Joe, Pete Dunne, who else did I have? Bobby Roode, and I don't remember who the other
Bobby
person
Roode
was.
would have fit in perfect in Triple H's role.
Yeah. Oh, funny story about Evolution real quick.
Samoa Joe's Batista, and that's his name.
Yeah. Did you know Batista wasn't actually originally in Evolution?
Really?
Yeah. It was Mark Jindrak. I don't know if you remember him.
I do remember Mark Jindrak.
Yeah.
Just because I played with him a lot.
He was. They even shot vignettes and stuff, and it was Triple H, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, and Mark Jindrak. And like Mark Jindrak ended up saying like he didn't feel like he was ready for the position he was going to be put in, and Ric Flair and Triple H were like, "We actually agree with that, dude. Give us Batista."
That's funny.
Yeah. So
who gets an opportunity like that and just
says, nah,
I'm not ready.
I'm good. I'll pass.
Bro, there might not be another one.
Right.
Just
exactly.
run with it.
Yep. Even if you're not ready, I mean.
I used to know, like, all the superstars' names because I used to play, like, Raw vs. SmackDown religiously.
Yep.
So I know even the bums' names from back then. Arya Davari or whatever.
Arya Davari.
Yeah.
Was Muhammad Hassan's.
Yeah. Speaking of which, is Aiden English Rusev's manager now?
I mean, it seems like it.
It does seem like it, doesn't it?
Did you know Aiden English is actually married to Eddie Guerrero's daughter in real life?
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's weird. Are you going to Comic-Con?
Not Kansas City, but I'll be at Planet.
Okay. Did you see who's going to be there?
At Planet Comic-Con?
No, at Kansas City.
Who?
Chavo Guerrero and
Really?
Ryback.
So that's this weekend.
Yeah.
That started today.
Yeah.
No. I am going to Planet Comic-Con because the Saturday Planet Comic-Con, Sting is going to be there.
I saw that.
Sting, Trish Stratus, and Lita.
Yeah, I told Dave, like, I'm going.
And then,
I'm going to jail.
Yeah. And then
Because Trish Stratus is going to call the cops.
And then to be on...
She's my first love ever.
Right. Well, so my first love ever is going to be there also. Amy Jo Johnson, Pink Power Ranger.
Oh, my God.
And then Jason David Frank, Green Power Ranger, is going to be there. Walter Jones, the original Black Power Ranger, is actually at Kansas City Comic-Con this weekend. Completely off topic. That is all I have for you this week, Anthony. Do you have anything else for me?
No, bro. I'm good.
All right, man. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you check out 816 Podcasting on YouTube, on Stitcher, on Twitter.
And Facebook at 816 Podcasting.
Anthony makes sure this shit gets edited and loaded. We could not do this without him, so thank you. Make sure you guys check out From Sacco to Shiva. It is Sacco, no matter what Tom says.
Not Sacco, Tom.
Not
I
Sacco.
hope you're listening.
Make sure you check out From Sacco to Shiva with Chase, Tom, and...
Sometimes Anthony.
Also, guys, check out our website, 816podcasting.com. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you very much.